Hey folks, what another beautiful day in the canyons. We are super stoked today for two reasons. One, we have one of the best sports sedans ever made,
Really
Cadillac CT5 Blackwing with a manual gearbox modified by Hennessey to the tune of 1,000 horsepower and 966 pound-feet of torque. And two, we have this road. This road is one of my three favorite roads in the Angeles Forest. And why does that matter to you today? Well, I don't know if it does, but it matters to me because it's been closed for 6 damn months. And today it's open, and it's my favorite road for driving really, really fast cars, which we have.
We do indeed.
Yeah.
We do indeed. 1,000 horsepower, but the big thing is that they shorten the 0 to 60 time, at least with the automatic car, by a full second, and they shorten the quarter-mile time by a full second, and it makes 1,000 horsepower.
1,000.
And it's basically a complete engine rebuild other than the bottom end.
This car does have the manual gearbox, which you, me, and pretty much everyone else would assume would be the better choice. But in this video, we're going to talk about why this specific car, that may not be the case. Now, the LT4 V8 is a very strong engine and comes with fully forged internals, so Hennessey can leave that alone to make their 1,000 horsepower. But you get a lot for your $55,000 upgrade. You get a high-flow supercharger, a physical bigger supercharger, a new intake, a custom grind HPE camshaft, ported heads, a auxiliary fuel system upgrade, upgraded valve springs, intake and exhaust valves, lifters, push rods, a better heat exchanger, that's a intercooler for the layman, long tube stainless steel headers with high flow cats, and then a full gasket fluid service with HPE's dyno tuning, and again, 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, we should mention, I don't know if you can see on the video, but the car right now is just shaking.
Yeah.
Like, it is wiggling because of that cam. It's aggressive.
It is cammed out.
Yeah.
And this one has the carbon package. It also has the ceramic brakes, Michelin PS4S tires. If you want to see our review of a stock 668 horsepower Blackwing, we have multiple videos. We will link those in the video description. Go check them out. This isn't about that. This is about the 1,000 horsepower car. And Zach and I are going to go for a drive up one of my favorite roads today. But before we do, this video would not be possible without today's sponsor. So give us 60 seconds of your time and watch this ad, and we'll be right back. Guys, we have to thank Exter for sponsoring today's video. Exter is a company started by two guys who are tired of the old ways of carrying things that you need every day. You're not using a 30-year-old laptop, are you? You're not using rotary phones in your house anymore. So why should you be using a wallet whose design goes back to the Gilded Age? These Exter wallets are designed to hold the most amount of stuff in the least amount of space. You can protect your cards from RFID skimming, and this one even holds an Apple AirTag, so you never have to worry about where you left your wallet again. You just press this button and it fans out all your cards for easy access to the stuff you need every day. But there's more to Exter than just these super cool wallets. There's everyday carry stuff, suitcases, dop kits, laptop bags, and tools like this really, really neat credit card sized multi-tool. Super cool, makes great gifts, great stocking stuffers for everyone in your family for the holidays. So get them now by using the link in the video description and entering code TST at checkout. You have to enter that code TST at checkout to get up to 55% total off for Black Friday savings with Exter. As I alluded to before, manuals are better, particularly in the Blackwing, but with this particular Hennessey 1000 car, and possibly other tuned ones, I don't know about that, the cam, that lumpy cam that makes it sound awesome, helps it make a bunch of power, seems to affect the Cadillac's traffic assist feature. And what I mean by that is it's got a thing from the factory that allows you to creep along in first gear without adding throttle. You just put it in first and slowly take your foot off the gas, and it adds enough throttle to creep along in traffic, right? And that's actually a good feature. It's helpful. But the lumpiness of the cam and the fact that like cam cars at idle have like no torque at all, it messes with like the flywheel, the torque sensor, the throttle by wire. So it makes it hard to take off from a stop. Of course, now I demonstrate it like perfectly. Oh, see that? But
yeah, it dropped to 500.
It almost like stalled, and so you have to.
It kind of like cuts the throttle as you add a little bit.
Right.
As the cam lobes turn over, it goes, oh, I have too much. I'll cut some.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it has a deficit.
Yeah. So the bottom line is, it actually makes it kind of tricky to take off from stop signs or lights, and your solution is to either bog a bunch and kind of buck a bunch and look kind of silly in your very loud, expensive car doing it, or ride the clutch, also look kind of silly, and potentially shorten the clutch life by a lot.
And then it kind of moves too much. When I made a U-turn, it was like between, revving it to 2,000, the cam surge and the supercharger surge, it moved forward more than I wanted to.
Right. So there is a learning curve there. You can't just have 1,000 horsepower car that has no give and take. And I asked the Hennessey people, is there a way to make that much power without the cam, or to make a little less without the cam? And they were like, not really.
Yeah.
So that's the give and take of this car. Now, assuming you're willing to ride the clutch like that, you can go.
Oh, and go.
Oh,
go it
baby.
Does.
And then it's like, ride 'em cowboy, dude. This car is bananas.
It does that great thing where third gear in this feels like second gear in the stock car. Fourth feels like third.
Yeah.
The rate of acceleration is so wild.
And I don't know for certain, but it feels like there's a torque management system that might limit your torque a bit in the first few gears, because it's actually when you get to fourth that things start getting really nuts.
Well, I think if it gave you the full 1,000 in second,
Yeah.
right away. I mean, yes, we have PS4s on this. They're very sticky, but that's
Third.
a ton of power. Yeah.
Woo!
And it speaks to how good this car is that it doesn't feel upset by 1,000.
Right.
It doesn't feel out of sorts. But then you look over and you see how fast the number's going up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We can't even talk about that because it would be deeply, deeply criminal.
Well, it went from 40 to 45 so quick.
Yeah. And this is when the rest of the car, like you said, comes into play. The chassis is so competent. The brakes are so good. The steering is so good. The suspension and management of the weight is so good that even though it's nuts, it actually doesn't feel like the car is totally overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
I mean, it's got, what, a Gen 4 mag ride. We have carbon ceramics. Thank God. That is the best $9,000 you'll ever spend on a CT5-V, I should say. And even if you're getting the normal one, I would recommend those brakes because this is so much power and it's 4,000 pounds.
Here's fourth from 3,500. Wow.
From 55 to 6,500
we are
RPMs.
golden because there is a passing lane.
Trains.
We got this truck here, but look, we're going to make a pass in the pass lane. So we will show the passing power of the Blackwing.
But it still rides so nice. I mean, you do feel and hear some of the bumps under us, but but it's just through the seat a little bit. It's not moving the car around.
I am so thankful for these brakes.
Yeah.
Like, you really, really need them. And so yesterday we were up on the hill with the Maserati MC20, and it reminded me that it was 2 years ago when we drove the Maserati MC20 Coupe on track, and we used a Blackwing to get to the track. And it was after getting back in the Blackwing, we went, oh, well, this has way better brakes than the Maserati. And today it's the same thing,
Absolutely.
but we've got the 1,000 horsepower, and it's like, oh yeah, it has way better brakes, and it needs them.
Yeah, as soon as I stood on the brakes of this, it has good bite up top, the pedal feel is good. It's like the right amount of the force on your foot equals clamping force. It's like, it feels 1-to-1. Where in the Maserati, it feels like each pound of pressure you put on the pedal,
Yes.
only half a pound gets put into the actual caliper.
You have to be very careful. Although the chassis is competent to handle the power and it's got plenty of brakes, you could find yourself entering a corner 40 or 50 miles an hour too quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my God, dude.
It just races
It's so
up
nuts.
up the dial.
It's so nuts. All right, let's find a good place for a driver change. Jesus Christ.
The manual's great once you're going.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's a bummer about it to me, is that it's not that. Here, wait, let's see if I get this, because when you make the, yeah, it makes it seem like you don't know how to drive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it stalled.
Oh yeah.
See?
Yeah. And
I have stalled this car in the one day I've had it more than I have stalled and not just any other press car in the last 5 years, all the other press cars.
Oh, combined.
I've probably stalled this car 6 or 7 times in the last 24 hours, which, you know, is not good, because everything else about this is so good.
Well,
that just drives
True
me
story.
nuts.
When you picked me up this morning, I heard you outside before you
Yeah.
texted me. I went, oh, he's here. But then I heard these weird rev changes where I thought, well, it doesn't sound like Matt. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
sound like a normal U-turn. Like, what? Someone's parallel parking their dragster.
Or it sounds like you don't know how to drive.
Yeah.
And there's something super embarrassing about having a loud ass cammed out car that you then sounds like you don't know how to drive.
Well, right, because it draws everyone's attention. And they go, whoa, what's that? And then you stall it. And they go, look at this ass.
Yeah. From where we started to here, 3.4 miles per gallon. These seats are so great, and they massage. I mean, one of the best car weekends of like my life was when I went to the Hypercar Invitational in one of these. I drove this car 7 hours to Laguna Seca, did about 60 laps of the track, held its own with a bunch of McLarens and stuff, and then drove 7 hours home. I mean, delightful. All right, can Zachary
I pull away
take off without stalling?
without?
And what's, you know, the one of the biggest annoyances about stalling this car is that in order to start it again, you have to have your foot on the brake. So one of the times I stalled it yesterday was literally in the middle of an intersection, and I probably could have just rolled across the intersection, but instead I had to step on the brake and restart it while there was oncoming traffic, because I was trying to make a left across traffic.
Right, where you can't clutch and start it and use the roll, which usually helps you if you're stalling a car.
Yeah. I don't mean to dwell on this, but like, as easy, not easy, but you know.
Well, I mean, I've watched you drive it this morning, so that helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And what I did there is I took it to 2,000 RPM, but we were in the dirt, so I spun the wheels.
Yeah.
So that's why I said it would be really hard to parallel park this or operate it in like a parking lot.
Yeah.
Where you don't have this much room.
It is.
And you can't get creative with your starts.
I stalled it 3 times inside WCCS yesterday. Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, this car is scary as a passenger. Not that you're not doing anything that's...
No, I know.
But like, it's really scary as a passenger.
This is one of the best cars ever built. Get one and keep in stock. stock if you want to. I don't care. But this is the new M5. Like, this is the E39 M5, but they turned everything up. But then, right?
Horsepower.
It just adds single digits to the left side of the number, you know? That just jumps.
I mean, one thing that's good about supercharged engines that are big power is you can use less throttle. It's not scary because it's scary on its own. You have to go that fast. You know what I mean? Like, you can use lighter throttle and it's fine.
But then you get here.
Jesus. You have to use so much brake,
So much brake. And you can feel it dive, which felt very foreign compared to, well, we're at this part of the...
Well, normally on this road, you're not using heavy brake. It's a lot of high-speed momentum corners, even in a fast car. But this thing builds speed so fast that you still have to use tons of brakes.
Yeah, you have to rein it in.
Yeah. They are hearing us in Mexico right now. This car
is so loud.
When you were doing some mounted shots earlier, I was hearing you like 5-6 corners away. Holy shit.
That's a lot of brake.
God, so fast, dude.
And I'm over slowing because it just feels like self-preservation at that point.
That corner in particular is very easy to overcook and get into trouble.
Yeah, you know, 3 Titans like that's a rally we need.
That's the Gambon of this road.
It sits back more than the stock car and then dives more because it's accelerating harder, slowing harder. You know, the stock CT5-V, it feels really locked in all the time. But this just has so much force going through the drivetrain.
And Cadillac's, you know, the PTM, the performance traction management, is so good that you can actually, if you leave it on, which it's on right now.
Yeah, we have it on.
If you leave it on, you can go basically flat through all the gears. And not, I mean, I meant probably first it would blow the tires off through it, but you roll into it in second and stay on the power and it'll hook.
Yeah. And it feels invisible. Like, it feels like we have tires in the back that are 600 section width.
Yeah.
Because there's no stutter. I mean, even in second, we're not slipping the wheel and catching it. It's just, it is a perfect delivery right on the line of traction. It's really impressive stuff. And then it just kicks you in the back.
Yeah, they're PS4S's. They're not like Hoosiers.
Right. They're not slicks or anything. I mean, if you put slicks on it, who knows what this runs 10s in the quarter. I think it's low 10s. So if you put stickies on it, it'd be like in the 9s.
Yeah. I mean, it's awfully close to 911 Turbo S.
Which is a very funny fact because this has nearly 400 more horsepower, even though I mean, it does.
But it probably weighs 500-600 pounds more, and it holds 5 people.
Yeah, it's such a comfort. This is an amazing vehicle, and Hennessey, as usual, out of his mind in the best way.
3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. On this, by the way.
Powertrain warranty.
I mean, that's to offer a 336 warranty on a 1,000 horsepower build is pretty sweet. Now we'll end this by, let's see if Zach can, if it can make a smooth U-turn.
Well, smooth, I can U-turn.
All right, it's after this truck, it's clear right.
My goal is to U-turn without us dying.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like this.
See, then
it's bucking.
Surged, yeah.
So that one thing would keep me out of this car, because this is a $120,000 car. It's got a $55,000 package on it, and I couldn't live with that every day.
No, I mean, if you had to move a little bit in, like you said, in your garage, if you don't stall it, you might surge forward a little bit, and I would not want to parallel park this because I'm worried I would ding a car in front or behind me.
Now, we've only had one day with it. It is possible you might get used to it, but like usually I can drive stick pretty good, and this This makes it seem like I kind of can't.
True.
So the downhill is extremely helpful on the efficiency.
It doubled it.
Zach achieved 5.7 miles per gallon on that.
Where you on the uphill were 3.5?
Uphill I was 3.4.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gravity assist was good.
I mean, they put a fire hose fuel system in this. They had to upgrade that. I mean, this is really impressive.
It's absurd. And the one problem we keep talking about apparently does not happen with the autos, and most of the ones they build are autos. So maybe if you wanted a manual CT5V, maybe don't do this. Maybe do it to the auto.
If you have an auto, the only downsides are the cold start. I mean, the exhaust is so loud.
Yeah.
You're making everyone upset.
Yeah.
And then, fuel economy. But otherwise, what a good time.
Seriously good time. Thanks to Hennessey for giving us this car for a couple days. It's bananas. It is obviously very, very fast. Thank you to you guys for watching, and we'll see you later. And remember, always fight your tickets. Use code TST10 on the Off the Record app, available in the Android and iOS store, or go to offtherecord.com/TST.